Google Plus or something caused me to have a bit of a blue screen error. So I've restarted, closed down a few other processes. So hopefully that won't happen again. Now just waiting for Julio Julio to turn up. He will be the person I'm debating regarding flat Earth. It's maybe not just a debate. It might just be interesting to kind of get an idea of what it is that he truly believes about why he thinks Earth is flat and why there might be a conspiracy to keep Earth. Well, why there might be a conspiracy around the idea of keeping people convinced the Earth is round. I don't know. It's all very confusing to me. Maybe he can shed some light on it. We were supposed to start at about 7. Obviously, it's a little later than that, but these things happen. I've sent him a message on Facebook. I've tagged him. He has actually responded in the thread, so I'm guessing he can see this hangout, but he hasn't joined yet. So please enjoy watching me sit here and sip beer for a bit. In case he doesn't show up, just so people can get a little bit of an idea, I've had a few people go, "What? We've got pictures of Earth from space." And yeah, of course we do. We've got video footage from space. There's even a live feed from the International Space Station. I suggest everyone checks that out because it's really beautiful. But he thinks all of that is fake. It's all faked by NASA or them. I think them in this case is mostly the Freemasons. But I'm not really sure. He's convinced everyone in NASA is a Freemason. Gravity, gravity's also a lie, according to him. And his main evidence for that is that Isaac Newton was a Freemason. Isaac Newton was a Freemason, but I'm not a massive fan of the Freemasons myself, but they don't just lie about everything to everyone just for the sake of it. They do actually do some quite good charitable work, and they do probably also corrupt police forces and other things, but it doesn't actually add up to anything like evidence for a flat Earth. I'm not going to sit here and talk for another 30 minutes on my own. I'm not a talented or natural vlogger. And I had hoped to have someone to talk to. But I mean, some of the main problems that I can see with the flat Earth theory are the overwhelming amount of observable evidence that we have for the Earth not being flat. Everything from ships coming and going over the horizon to, as mentioned before, all the footage we have of Earth from space, Earth from the moon, Earth from satellites, Earth from the ISS, Earth from weather balloons. There's a great little story, which I have used in a debate before, about a teenager who used a £200, I think he spent on it, and he managed to launch a balloon with a camera on it up so high that you could see the curvature of the Earth. Now, what Julio, I believe, has specifically said, and I know some other flat earthers have said, is that the reason you can see a curvature of the Earth when those balloons are all the way up there is because of a sort of a fisheye lensing effect created by the camera. Now, you obviously can get fisheye lenses, and that will give an artificial curving effect to anything, but that would only make sense if the if when the camera was on the ground, and you can watch these things go from the ground all the way up. If when it was on the ground there was this artificial curve to the horizon, the fact that the curve in the horizon only appears as you go up completely discredits that, but that usually seems to that just kind of gets ignored. But I mean, it shows, we're entering an age where anyone really with a couple of £100 and a little bit of science, or an internet connection, can prove flat Earth, can prove, ball, round, or oblate spheroid Earth for themselves without any effort at all. And not that you need to really, because we've all done, most of us have traveled in a plane before, or traveled in a boat, or seen a boat come over the horizon. Or I'm sure nearly everyone who will be watching this has at some point experienced gravity. You might have dropped something or fallen over, or simply not floated off into space. An interesting, if you like to think about gravity on a flat Earth, it's kind of fascinating. Because of course we understand that gravity is the tendency for one object to be attracted to another, and on a ball-shaped Earth, everything is sort of drawn into the middle, which is why the oceans and all the people and everything in the atmosphere kind of cling to the Earth in a way that feels quite natural to us. On a disk Earth, of course, the sort of center of gravity would be the middle of the disk. So if you're near the middle of the disk, everything's pretty normal. But as you get further and further away from the middle of the disk, gravity would actually start not only pulling you down, but also towards the center. So by the time you got to the edge of the disk, if you dropped something, it would sort of fall down to and to the center of the Earth, which of course it would be the North Pole. I think he believes that the flat Earth has the North Pole in the middle, and the South Pole / Antarctica is a sort of band of ice that circles the Earth. Because I think that also handily explains why all the water doesn't fall off. There's still no sign of him. I could see there's a couple of people viewing this broadcast, but no one I recognise, and certainly not Julio. This is I believe, public. As I say, this is the first time I've done it, but I think he should just be able to join in, or he could at least message me on chat or Facebook or anything to let me know that he's just desperately waiting to join and whatever. But I'm increasingly getting the feeling he's not going to bother showing up. I'm just going to refresh a few things to see if he has actually said anything. Hi, Tanya. Yes, now I can see you're watching. I don't know where he is. As you can see, he has posted in the thread twice, but not shown up. And we did agree on this time, 7 p.m. GMT. We agreed on it yesterday. He was very, very adamant that no one would debate him one-to-one, and that everyone who was talking to him and kind of engaging in the discussion was a paid government agent, including myself and about 7 other people, which I always find a bit interesting, because if he thinks the government is paying 7 separate people to talk to him on Facebook, I mean, you've got to be a bit of a narcissist to kind of think that you're that important. Especially as far as I'm aware, if the government was going to try and debate you on Facebook or make you look stupid on Facebook, it wouldn't be over something like flat Earth, which, as far as I can tell, isn't something the government would want to protect or anything. Now, I don't understand really why people think that there would be this big conspiracy to keep flat Earth hidden. I can't see what big business or what the government or what the reptilian overlord Illuminati New World Order race would gain from keeping that a secret. You can almost see the motivation in some of the other conspiracy theories for such effort being put into keeping something a secret, or for promoting something that's false. But I can't work it out with flat Earth. And I was hoping we'd have Julio here to explain that, as well as a few other things. I believe he was also going to provide some evidence of me being a paid government shill or agent, or whatever term he was using yesterday. But he hasn't shown up. So I'm not sure. Apologies for all the annoying Facebook notification noises in the background. I would turn them off if we were having a debate, but as it is, I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs. I do intend to go out later, so I'm not going to sit here all evening and wait for him to show up. No, Tanya, I don't think he got the idea of the world being surrounded by ice from Game of Thrones. That's probably too imaginative for him. I think this is another symptom of him thinking that the it's not an orthographic projection, whatever the type of projection that is used on the UN map is actually a representation of reality. And of course, if you try and project Earth onto a flat thing like that, you will stretch the South Pole around the outside. So I think that's where he gets that from, because of course it was in a computer graphic of the Earth stretched out, so it must be true. I don't know. You're sort of asking questions that I couldn't possibly answer because I'm not of the mindset, or maybe I'm just not educated enough and I'm too brainwashed by my Illuminati Freemason masters to understand. At least the live YouTube broadcasting thing is obviously working. People seem to be able to talk to me. Or at least you can hear me. I've got several people asking how the debate's coming along. It's not. Anyway, I'll give it 5 more minutes. I'll give it till 7:30 because that was the sort of time I'd allotted to do this. If he doesn't show up, I'm happy to reschedule. I'm guessing the same thing will happen again, to be honest. He has struck me as being quite intellectually dishonest in some of the arguments that he's made, and some of the, I find it difficult to respect anyone who really seriously accuses every single person that he's talking to of being a paid government agent. I think that's really lazy, and it's just a naff argument to make. No, I don't think he's confused about time zones. Thank you for asking. Yeah, actually, that was a question that we did raise earlier as to whether time zones even work on a flat Earth. Apparently, they do, or at least whatever he understood. He understood the concept of 7 p.m. GMT. So I don't think he's simply confused about that. I believe he's an American, which would make him sort of 5 to 7 hours behind. It's probably about noon. Obviously, massive apologies to the 3 or 4 people who are currently watching this. Not quite the heated debate with a man with interesting theories that we thought it might be. Oh, is that him? No, it's not. Got all excited there. Of course, if anyone else would like to join the debate and scream flat earthers are idiots, or Matt, you're a Illuminati Jew shill, please do. It would add something. Of course, if you are a real Illuminati Jew shill, please do get in touch. I'd love to work for you guys. I think I'm pretty well suited to it. Uh, People tell me I'm one like every day, so it might. I could put that on my CV. Yeah, no, I'm going to agree with Tanya on this one. It's 29 minutes past. He's not going to show up. I am going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he's not bottling it, as Adam has phrased it. I'm sure he's had a medical emergency, or his ship is about to fall off the edge of the planet, or something. And it's not just simply that he doesn't think this debate would be a good idea. I actually don't think this debate is a good idea, for him, but it was his idea, and he was very adamant that no one would challenge him to a debate. And I challenged him to a debate, and he didn't show up. So thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye.